Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
You know, you buy a couch, and a couch is for life.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's the rub is how do you know when you're sitting on a thing on a floor, like whether or not that couch is going to be good news in 3 years?
What are you supposed to do? Sit on it for 9 seconds and know that you want to
Yeah.
marry it? Your ass wants to marry it for the rest of your life?
Yes, exactly. And now we're stuck with this
Right.
couch. And not only is this couch not that comfortable, we had to take out a window to get it in the house.
Oh, now you're in for a pound.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was no, like, we couldn't navigate the couch through the doors and halls of our weirdly shaped house. So that is like we ended up getting this like couch that was within our budget, and then having to spend like $500 to get a window taken out and replaced. And while they were doing it, they smashed the window.
Oh.
So we had to buy a whole new window as
For Christ's
well.
sake, that's insane. I had to
this
do this from a
couch.
second floor once. It was a similar thing. It was this really old apartment in Jamaica Plain. In a house in Boston, and the couch could only go through the second floor window. It was old Victorian. We had to take out the old wooden everything, the wooden windowsills. There was like a human hand skeleton stuck in there, clutching a racing form from 1901. It was insane.
Right. And did that cost you a pretty penny?
A pretty penny. It certainly did.
For your, what I'm assuming at that period in your life was probably a couch that you'd picked up off the side of the street.
You would think. No, we went to Jordan's Furniture. My brother and I we lived together. But we did this thing, and we were early couch shoppers, and you know, you're basically doing arranging a marriage for your ass. And we sat and we thought it was fine. I think we paid a pretty penny for it. And then we got in our apartment, and it was not comfortable.
Oh, Jesus. See, there you go. And then you're stuck with it.
And then you're stuck with it. Yeah, our couch now is a piece of crap, and it's falling apart, and it's just sticks of furniture that are held together with dental floss. But what are we going to do? Get a new couch? Because of the same problem. What are we going to do? Get like a couch that is comfortable? That's impossible.
No, it's impossible. Impossible.
Impossible.
Plus, like the ones that are comfortable right away are always like bad news later on, right? 'Cause
They
they're
give you
like
scoliosis.
Yeah, exactly. They're the squishy ones that you squish down into.
Yeah.
And this one, and this like little things, you know, like sitting on this couch, if you put your arm up, like it's just at the level where you're like, that sucks. Like you can't you can't do it. Like you want it to be like resting.
Yes.
But instead it's like you're reaching for something on this couch. And
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't know I literally don't know how to sit in this thing.
No, yes, exactly. And it should be all about circulation and blood flow. And everyone is roughly 5'8", at least I am.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speak for yourself, sure. But I actually bought this. My dream has been, by the way, we're Dad Jeans, and I'm Jeffrey Dinsmore.
I'm Brendan Hughes. Oh, God. That's happening too fast. I'm too flummoxed.
I always throw you off for some reason. Like you're quick as a whip when responding to anything else, but you always forget your name every single week. When I go into the who we are, you're just like, blah, 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 blah. What do I do?
I'm Johnny McGillicuddy. Oh, wait, no, that's the guy that beat me up. And then he took my soul.
Is he the one who smashed you in the face with a crowbar?
Oh, yeah. I was recently recording some lectures for my students at Santa Monica College, and I had a professional cinematographer Emily Topper come in and do the lighting in my office so that I would look nice. But here's the thing: we put the key light where it had to be because I have a good side of my face, A, and B, the windows on that side. But C, I can very clearly see that my nose was once broken, and I look like fucking Luke Wilson. No, Owen. No, Luke. Which one has that nose look sort of phallic?
Yeah, Luke. No, Luke and Homer Wilson. Owen's the one.
Owen. Right. Owen. Luke is the brunette, and Owen is the blondie.
That's correct.
Right. Owen, who's a lovely guy. Certainly very handsome. Very distinct nose. My nose was straight until that crowbar or whatever it was, pipe, something metal, hit me in the face.
Oh. And you've been a disaster ever since. It's all downhill from there.
Deviated septum. So I've been sleeping with my nose open. I mean, with my nose breathing, according to that book you sent me.
Yeah. Mouth tape.
Yeah, but my nostrils all screwed up on the left side. I'm discovering all these new things about my speak.
Did you get the gum? I got the gum.
There's gum? Oh, I haven't got that far in the book.
Oh, you chew. This is like it's everlasting gum. You chew this phalum. It's like a Turkish gum, and you chew this all day, and then that makes your jaw, that expands your jaw because we're not used to, because we evolved to chew things that are much tougher than we chew now. We just chew soft food all the time. So you need to do some chewing so you can expand your jaw. That expands your septum. So it's you gotta hack the shit out of your head before you can breathe properly.
Wow, this guy went very deep. I have noticed that
he went so deep.
What the first couple of nights of strapping my mouth shut, I would wake up in the middle of the night with like, I wouldn't say a sore throat, but certainly like a dry throat in an entirely new place because the wind is going down in a totally different angle than it normally does while I sleep.
That's interesting. And I've noticed that as well. And maybe I was attributing it to allergies, but maybe you're right. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it slowly readjusts, and I do feel slightly better as a human. I feel better, maybe a little happier.
You look better.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
You look happier.
Oh, well, I like
you look more human.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to circle back to one thing that you just said, but before that, let me finish my story about how my whole life I've wanted a basket chair, like a hanging basket chair, like those egg chairs.
Oh yeah, we had one growing up.
It's such a magical device, right?
Amen.
So I buy one. I go to this online. It's all modern, but it's like there's like 17 different online retailers, furniture retailers, and they're all the same thing. It's like, what's the big one? It's like I forget. I don't know, but you would know it if you heard it. It's the one where they had those cabinets for pedophiles with the kids stashed.
Oh
inside.
yes, I know that. Yeah, they were charging $15,000 for a chipboard cabinet.
Yes, exactly.
Because it has 9 children inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So like there's like 10 of these. I just said 17. I'm going to bring it down to 10. I don't know. There's a bunch of different furniture things, and they all have slightly different branding, but they're all kind of pulling from the same repository of resources, which I'm sure is just like Chinese factories, basically.
Yep.
But so I bought this egg chair, and I set it up, have to like install it. It takes me like an hour and a half to build this thing, put it on my deck. I'm so excited, sit in it, and it's built for a 5'8" man.
Oh, so you have to scrunch your head in there?
Yeah, so I returned it, and thank God they gave us our money back. But it was a whole thing. Then I had to dismantle it. I had to put it in the box. I had to lug it back out to the curb. It was a whole thing. And it was my dream was to have one of these chairs.
Absolutely.
And that's the story of the Donald Trump presidency.
Oh, it absolutely is. I ordered something off of Instagram. Never order off of Instagram, and it was this Lego container. It looked like things that drummers carry around their bass drums in, these like big giant cylindrical tire shaped cases, but it was fabric, and on the inside it had this like vinyl cape that would spill out, so all the Legos, you dump the Legos onto the vinyl cape, and then you just pick up the vinyl cape and all the Legos slide back into the thing and stuff it in. It's sewn in, and so
sounds like it's lifesaver.
Yeah, and you would never have to pick up Legos again. So I was like, holy shit, I'll order the crap out of that. It's, oh my God, $30. That is a bargain for me. And so I ordered it because of the amount of time I wouldn't have to pick up Legos anymore. And there's a picture of this woman like spreading it out all over a living room floor. This huge thing that would hold every Lego we own. What arrived? What arrived was a
6 inches.
A pint-sized version of this. Literally pint-sized, not figuratively pint-sized, an actual pint glass-sized version of this thing.
No.
And I was like, how fun. And so I then was just like litigated the shit out of it with their customer service department. And but they were in China, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. The thing is, we misled you on purpose and don't care. Bye.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, you're not happy. That's your cross to bear now, white man.
Why did you order it on Instagram, you dumb American? And I was like, well, you got me there. The picture and what arrived were entirely different sizes, so definitely fuck yourself.
Because I'm sure the device, if it's coming from China, the thing itself cost you 25 cents and the shipping cost you $29.75.
Precisely. And it took 9 weeks. By the time it arrived, I was like, what the fuck is, oh yeah, what the fuck? And I got
so let this be a lesson to our listeners.
Yes. Don't order stuff on Instagram.
Well, it's all these people setting up these shops.
Yes.
That are coming from Alibaba, right? Is that what it is?
Yep, exactly. It's drop shipping, which is a whole thing. And people are making millions of dollars by misleading everyone.
That's right. To buy crap.
Buy crap from China and just chug these bullshit across the Pacific Ocean and hasten our demise.
Oh yeah, you just added like 20 years to your carbon footprint by ordering that stupid little thing.
That's exactly right.
Nice job, Brendan.
Yep, thank you.
The thing I want to circle back to is I have not talked to you about your work situation. So you're working at Santa Monica College?
Oh, yeah. I just teach in one class there. I like to teach about approximately one class per semester.
Which is all you can do because they've just dismantled the entire educational system.
Yes, and what's amazing about the whole thing is one class for an adjunct professor is basically almost full time. And that's amazing.
Sure.
But in order to make minimum wage, you have to teach 5 of these things.
Right. Yeah. But if you're doing one, might you as well just be doing 5?
You'd think no, because it's all paperwork. Because then it's 5, then you have 170 students, and then you have to do respond to 170 things. It's like no, it's totally bonkers. And so I won't talk about my workarounds on the air.
Okay. I'm not hearing about it, so perfect.
Right, but I actually posted one of my lectures on that fuck book in order to I don't know why. I was kind of particularly proud of this particular one. So I've been posting these lectures all semester, but they were just like behind passwords on Vimeo, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. All right, I'll just put this on regular YouTube to see what happens. And 100 people are like, that's kind of weird. And that was the experience.
Wait, no, I thought I saw this, but I wasn't aware that there was an attachment there. You actually are putting your lectures up online?
Just one. I mean, there are like 30. I might put more up. I might even do this as like, take my class on acting.
It's your own master class. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's fun. And I now have the whole setup with the camera and the lights and the doohickeys and the syllabus. And so I'll just do it.
And that's okay. You're not getting sued by the school for doing that.
No, that actually is the wonderful part, is that you own everything you do, and
that's cool.
And they don't wonder what you do. No one is like, I've read your syllabus and I'm not so sure about week 3. They're just like, oh, are you doing something? Great. All right, bye. And then you never hear from them again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice, right?
Oh, that's the best part, is like I can do whatever the hell I want, because I think most professors teach to like are the acolyte of some guru. Like most professors, like, I went to a Meisner class and now I teach Meisner, but I refuse to be an acolyte of anybody, which puts a lot of onus on me to have to make a bunch of shit up. But I did, because it's kind of a hobby, and so I made a bunch of shit up, and now I just teach my own shit.
Oh wow! So you are Meisner?
Yeah. Yep. Basically.
Why don't you? Could you? Is it unique enough that you could create your own method?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, then do that.
I've been thinking.
What are you waiting for, dummy?
I know. I might write a book. I might, might do a thing. Might do some stuff.
Why are you talking to me? You should be doing that.
Because you're my only friend.
Oh, fair. That's where I am too. Which we'll circle back to in fatherly advice. But should we get into our segments?
Oh yes, I think that's a fine idea.
Let's do the newish segment. I, a parent, just don't understand.
I, a parent, just don't understand how the culture of the youth has gotten so out of hand. They watch trash and listen to shitty bands, and I, who am a parent, I just don't understand.
I, a parent, just don't understand. We both have something to talk about. Your theme song, that might be one of my favorite theme songs.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy it.
I do very much.
It's been a good it's been a fun time trying to use my new equipment and come up with theme songs.
I've noticed
involving it.
The production value has kicked up a notch.
It's kicked up a notch, which I don't know if I like it or not. I feel a little when I hear the old ones, that especially True Daddy Confessions, I feel like that one just brings me back to the old days when we were in the filthy garage together, and I get a little misty-eyed.
Yes, and it was just you and your guitar and the onboard mics of the Zoom H4n.
That's right.
And just like whatever reverb was there, if we had a guest, it sounded a little different. It was great.
Yeah, I know. And now we're professional.
Right. Now we're just sitting on all this advertising money. And
yeah.
I mean, when we hit $1 million a year, I feel like that's when we lost our souls.
Yeah, I think so. Agreed. Once we started advertising not one but two different toothbrush subscription services.
The more forgettable the bland, the better.
Exactly. Yours. So our I'm looking at the sheet, and our I apparent just don't understand segments are markedly different. But I'm very excited to hear yours. So
okay.
So this is something that we as parents do not understand. Not necessarily about the world our children are living in, but the world that the younger generation is living in.
Right. Yes, exactly. And I have it on good authority, and by that I mean the anecdotal observations of one person I talked to a couple months ago, that that the next generation, let's talk a little bit, Jeffrey, about flagrante delicto, shall we?
Oh, okay. Let's get into it.
If you have children in the car, this is going to get graphic.
Don't listen to this with kids.
Skip this segment. Skip ahead 10 minutes.
Okay.
So anyway, I talked to this gentleman who's on the dating scene, and he said, and I think I might have even talked about this on the air before. He said there is a bifurcation, an absolute bifurcation above and below the age of roughly 35. That people below the age of 35 are having freaky sex, and people above 35 are just doing missionary and like sort of gentle, sad betrayals, and only one, snoring and looking at their phones and
right.
So anyway, that combines with something I've been observing on Twitter and the Reddits and the other places and the Instagrams and stuff like that, of just sort of like the chatter about sex among the youths on all those things. And then I
wait, where do you? Let's back up. What are you having conversations about sex with young people? How are you a part of this?
No, these are posted tweets, like funny tweets and memes and stuff like that.
I see.
These are not things I am engaging with. They just go by on Reddit or I open Reddit to look at like pictures of boats and camping equipment and get angry about Trump or whatever. And then, this other funny shit goes by because it just populates for everyone. Any case,
okay.
There's also people are tweeting. That's the other thing. Actually, that's an important point. People are very open about. I will get to my thing in a second. People are open about.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Take your time.
I feel like
we're used to the scenic route. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the scenic route. I want to apologize to my listeners because I'm taking forever. I'm burying the lead. People are openly tweeting about sex in a way where I'm like, whoa. Don't employers see that stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So,
okay.
But then again, if you're a Generation Y, like Z kid or a millennial, what's an employer? They don't know. There are no jobs. So what are you going to do? Why not just live your best life out loud on the internets? So,
sure.
I recently came across this tweet from Ryan Reynolds, who's our age, I think. And he said, his tweet was something like, when I was a kid, butt liquor was an insult. And now look at all you butt lickers.
Oh, Jesus. That's okay.
And this, I was like, oh yeah, you see it all the time. Like, so here's the thing. Generation Z and millennials brag on Instagram all the time, or whatever, Twitter, whatever the hell, brag all the time, or just sort of not brag, but talk openly about, I'm just going to say this, block your kids' ears, eating. This is how they put it. Eating ass.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like that.
Right.
And so that is a thing that like I've seen a ton of tweets go by, like funny. Everyone's like, look, it's funny. Whatever. People saying like, just saying, like, this is what we do as a generation. We do butt stuff, but it's basically human human centipede. Well, they don't do that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's that that's the interface. That's the tab A into slot B is the human centipede setup. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I went just this morning before the thing. I just Googled meningitis on the rise, and sure enough, I found an article where it was like, meningitis is on the rise, particularly in young adults and college-aged people, because
oh my god,
because and science believes it's because of a particularly deadly strain. But I'm like, or is it because of a particularly active crowd?
Jesus,
I know, this is the thing. So it is. I've seen this enough times to make this official. This is a thing, I think.
It's like because it's like maybe like one would say like oral sex probably was not like in our parents' age was like a little bit beyond the pale,
right?
Perhaps. And we don't even think about that as that's just what we do. That's what one does now.
Oh sure, yeah. Just have a good time.
But now it's ass play is where we're headed.
Butt stuff. Yeah, it's. I mean, hey, as the saying goes, absolutely live your best life. Oh wait, as a tiny sidebar, I did see a funny tweet where someone was like, when I get it to the Senate, I'm just going to put in a bunch of different amendments and get us up to Amendment 69, and the only text for Amendment 69 is nice.
Love it.
It's pretty amazing. So I don't know what your reaction is, but that's
my reaction to eating ass.
Yeah. To this whole thing that there's an entire generation that is like, we do it, we love it, get used to it. We're here, we eat butts, get used to it.
Is like what indication do you have? So okay, your friend. Let's skip back. Your friend is single, and he says that people under 35 are freakier than the over 35 crowd.
Yeah.
Is that all it comes down to? Is putting your tongue in someone's butt, or is there like,
sorry,
like what else? What else is there that I have not even considered in the world of sex? That's what I want to.
I know we're gonna have to listen to more Dan Savage, because humans are very creative. I mean, I'm sure there's all sorts of weird stuff. I'm sure there's food, and there's
okay.
There's pooping, I guess.
Oh no, thank you.
No, thank you. I know.
No, that's all. I mean, yes, Dan Savage, we've had this conversation before where I'm just like, what? How do you discover these things about yourself? Where you're just like,
yeah, oh, right.
I just like, it's like, I don't know. Like, it's all kind of the same. Like, there's not that one thing that I do where I'm just like, oh, this is like next level. I'm just like,
right. I want to go meet middle-aged couples in the Midwest and do this in hotel conference rooms.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I don't. Yeah. What is the? And I don't. I can't see the excitement in having a tongue in my butt. I don't like.
Sorry, every time
it kills you.
It kills me.
I mean, we have a bidet fixture, and it's quite nice. Like it gets you very clean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that part of it. I don't consider that sexual, though. Oh, you're developing a theory, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. That's
okay.
You know my face when I do now, don't you?
Yeah, your theory face. Yeah.
Right. Well, no, I'm thinking we've got to look at the bidet futures market at this point.
Okay, right.
Because we could make a lot of money, because bidets, I think, are about to pop in the United States.
Well, I hope so. Clean all that meningitis out of there.
Right. Before the sun goes down and another night rolls around.
I wonder if the thing is just like, and this is something I had this as my kids' parents we just don't understand, or whatever this segment is, before erasing it and changing it for something a little bit more wholesome. But I don't like we just missed the dating app world.
Yeah, we did.
So I don't understand any of this dating app stuff. Like, maybe the freakiness is just more like I watched that show on HBO, I May Destroy You. Have you seen that show?
Oh, no, but I've heard it's insanely good.
It is. It's like a heavy brick dropped on your head like every week. I can only watch so many episodes.
Wow.
It's just so. Yeah, it's really it's just depresses me. It's well done, but it's like it's like Girls, but without like any of the fun. And white people.
Right.
Sorry, that's terrible. But no, it's not white people, which is what actually makes it really interesting.
Yeah.
But so what was my point? Is that yeah, so they're just like constantly like using like dating apps to just like have casual sex. And this is a thing that I think we just didn't have access to. So maybe that's the freaky part of it, is that it's like it's very non-committal.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's it. Yes. And it's all I find this it's all visual too. Like we were just dating roulette. You go to a party. I met my wife at a party, and if I hadn't gone to that party, I never would have met her, and I would have a completely different life. It's not
Right.
It's not like I kind of like I trained an algorithm on the type of people I would want to date. And then be like, and then, nope, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, no, no, no. And then I start to be shown the exact same type of person over and over again. And then I narrow that down, and then I find the absolute perfect mate or whatever. And then I like, hey, knock, knock, who's there? Something sexual. And she's like, ha, meet me at a restaurant, I think is how it goes. And, and then we'll eat each other's butts.
And then you end up eating butts. At the end of the night.
But actually, it would actually go, knock, knock, who's there? And she's like, go fuck yourself. And then it wouldn't. And then I was like, well, I found the love of my life. I know she exists now or whatever. But she said no, or, it's all sorts of crazy things. Instead of being like, I saw Emily and I was like, whoa, who is that? And I consider myself very lucky that she walked into that room, and it is luck. So I don't know what is better, training the algorithm to get like 12 Emilys or whatever, and like one of them's bound to like my knock knock joke opener, or meeting the one Emily and having to work really hard to not fuck it up or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't know what the answer is. You just kind of like, you have to be in the right place at the right time. I don't know. Like, is there something worse about being able to see a broader selection of people who you might be interested in having a relationship with? But then we're like, well, what's going to happen to monogamy? That's sort of where our generation's head goes, I think. And who knows? Who cares? Or do we care?
Is monogamy, is that
is that the answer?
Is monogamy a buggy whip?
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like we're drawn to it throughout the course of human history somehow.
Right, but human history is in the midst of ending as we know it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'd be happy if we can have like universal health care and no one gets married anymore, then that's a good trade-off. I'm happy with that.
I know, yeah, me too. Because, everyone, they have kids, and like one of them keeps the kids or whatever, and then the other one keeps being, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, thank you, Brendan, for that enlightening trip into the sexual world. We have to have Sam Sadden again. He's like he's our man on the inside when it comes to what the kids are into.
He's boots on the ground.
He's boots on the ground. Yeah. Well, if he's listening, Sam, we'll have to talk to you.
Yeah, we're like generals in a tent. He's boots on the ground.
Exactly. My segment, or my I apparent just don't understand, is what I don't understand is Minecraft. It's very, very different world, I think, than your contribution this week.
Only barely. It's maybe this is the younger generation's version of eating ass is playing Minecraft. I don't know. I just my kids don't play it yet. Thank God. But I just see this thing. I was talking to a 17-year-old the other day, a friend, or the son of one of our friends,
and he is just like knows everything there is to know about Minecraft. He's been playing it for like 8 years, and he's still into it, and he still checks his Minecraft thing late. And I just don't. I see these games and like what? I guess you're building worlds. I just don't know that what's happening in them, and I don't see the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
My kids play. I got for them for the Switch. I got them Animal Crossing, which is sort of, I think, similar in that you're like building you make a house, and then you've got your island and your friends on the island that you talk to, and except it's all like self-contained. Like Minecraft, I think, is like sort of it builds. It's just all up to the users, and they can build their own world.
Uh-huh.
Oh Jesus, that was loud.
Sorry about that. Sorry, hold on.
You should have muted that, for Christ's sake.
I'm so sorry.
Now you're muting.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. But I see it. It's like blocks. I don't get what people are doing on this thing. I don't see the appeal. That's it. Minecraft.
I gave Oscar I download. We were getting on it. There was a time in our lives when we got on airplanes all the time. Like Oscar flew all that. Not that we had that much money, but we were having to.
You'd visit Emily.
We'd visit exactly. We'd visit Emily, or Oscar I would fly Oscar up to be with his grandparents for a week while I was working at Fox back in the old days. That was kind of sad too, because he was like 2, and I still lament not of the time I missed out on him when I had a full-time office job. That blew because he's such an awesome kid, and I just missed out. Anyway, whatever. So he and I were on an airplane, and he had an iPad just for airplanes, and I downloaded Minecraft One Flight so he could do it, and it's insane. I mean, it's crazy. Like the genius of doing a lo-fi hi-fi thing where it's just bricks. So like so it's 8-bit but 3D at the same time. As I watched him do crazy stuff and sort of navigate it as a 2-year-old on the thing and figure out how to do things, I was like, that is astounding genius, because it's so weird and so at first off-putting, but then so brilliant, because you get to do very simple things, and I could see his brain kind of being infected with whatever about it has the appeal, which I also don't fully understand either. But it's basically Legos, except you don't have to do anything in real life.
Yeah, right. But then it like, why doesn't the appeal go away? If someone's playing this from age 10 to age 17, it must be evolving with you somehow, right?
Oh yeah, and they build. I think they encounter each other like it's one universe, which is actually larger at this point than the Earth. If it were real, it would be much larger than the Earth, the Minecraft universe, because it's one world you enter, and there are all the other Minecraft users are on the same planet. You can go meet them. I think this is my observation, and so people will spend years working together and building like a car that works, because somehow you can make things, you can create pistons and stuff, but in order to make a car that works, it's the size of what to us would be an ocean liner or something, in order to get the engine to work, blah blah blah. So anyway, they can meet each other and build and go do building projects. It's construction. It's like whatever appeals to us about Legos, I think. I don't know, but it's chatting. I'm just trying to figure out what is why would you be like, you lose interest in Legos. You don't have a lot of 17-year-olds playing with Legos. Oh yeah. Yes.
It's the fact that you can also talk to your friends. That's really the
this gets
part of the genius.
This gets to my leisure class.
Oh, okay. So well, let's move in.
Okay.
Come on, everybody. We're going to school. Now it's time to find out what Dad thinks is cool. It's leisure class. Dad Jean's leisure class.
Last night, and this answers the Minecraft question. Emily and I sat down, laid down, and we watched, because our couch sucks, so we watched TV in bed when we watch TV. We watched The Social Dilemma. Have you seen this?
No, but this is a Netflix series about social media, correct?
Right, just a standalone documentary.
Okay. I thought it was a series.
Yeah, a feature doc, and in it, they got a bunch of people who like very high ranking presidents and vice presidents from all the like the Facebooks, the Instagrams, or early founders, really bold faced names in Silicon Valley to sit down and be like, it's really fucked up what's happening right now. And they talk a great deal. There's this whole section of it where they talk about growth, and what growth is about is getting people to look at the screen longer and figuring out how to hijack the human brain. So they're bringing in psychologists and psychiatrists, they're bringing in like scientists and brain anatomists and all these people to figure out how to make your phone and their apps into a slot machine, so that the same thing a slot machine does to your brain, these apps do to your brain. So what Minecraft is obviously doing, because it's digital, is it has this sort of slightly unpredictable reward system where, and your phone does too, like, do I have a notification? I do, and it's for me, et cetera, et cetera. And so these apps, the Facebooks and everything, so they tell this interesting story of a kid in high school who has like a crush on a girl, and then the app knows that he's in high school, and so he's going to be interested in, and they know that he's heterosexual, and they know he's going to be interested in girls, and so they'll do things like send him notifications like, send Jenny a wave. They know he's in the same room as Jenny, and so they'll be like, send Jenny a wave. And he'll be like, that's weird, and so then he sends Jenny a wave, and she's like, hey, or whatever. And they'll also be reminding her of him at the same time, so that she's like, oh yeah, there was that photo I didn't tag of him or something, or like, hey, you want to tag Jimmy in a photo? And he's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll tag Jimmy. And then he sees that she tagged him, and they point out, if you never notice, you're notified that you've been tagged in a photo, but they don't send you the photo. You have to log into the app to see the photo. And then he's like, in the app, and he's like, oh, she likes me. And then, so the Silicon Valley has completely overtaken any actual romance that happens between teenagers. It's all manufactured for the sake of their attention and getting their attention, and then bidding on. And then there's this other thing that I didn't totally understand, where they bid on this session of his attention to the highest bidder. Oh, I guess for advertising. Like, there's then an auction where, some like weapons manufacturer gets to advertise to him based on all the different ways that he's behaving and all this kind of stuff. And they know all the psychology, blah, blah, blah. So the point of the whole thing is, it is so fucking evil that they know precise what they are doing on purpose is addicting us, and then putting us, and then segregating us according to what appeals to us. So this is why conspiracy theories are flourishing so much, because people who do the flat earth thing then are told like vaccines are bad, and then they're like the moon landing didn't happen, and then QAnon, and then like all these people are being separated and put on a different Facebook than us, and we are told about the atrocities of Trump's behavior and how Republicans are horrible. And we are put in a room with other people who agree with us. So Facebook becomes, for us, this reward system. And there's such a giant supercomputer on the other side of the screen pointed at us. No human brain could possibly be a match for the addictive level that they are creating around this. And I watched this, and I erased all my apps the moment it was over. And I set up my computer. I can't go on those apps anymore. And I have this safe right here, this thing where I put my phone inside and I can't open it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so because that's the only way, because they have put heroin in all of our hands, including the hands of middle schoolers, and suicides are going up, and like everyone's depressed. No one feels actually connected to other human beings anymore. So everyone feels numb to tragedy even. Everything is fucking horrible. And at the end they were like, where do you see this going? And they were like, civil war. And then all of them, they were like, do you let your kids use screens? And they're like, nope, never, not once.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was so fucking scary. And then I look at Oscar, who has to use 2 iPads all day, every day, and he uses these fucking apps like GG Math, which comes from China, which is an addictive math game.
We have that.
Yeah. So he learns math or whatever the hell. And but also he's using a screen and being given this stupid brain reward shit, and it's making him feel vacant, like it all makes us feel vacant, etc.
Wow. Yeah. Is there anything more? I have not watched this documentary yet. I will have to. Okay, so I get all of the like human behavior shit. Like, yes, that is I know that they are doing that, and that's bad. But is there anything more? Is it ultimately just a problem with capitalism? Like, is their only thing they're trying to do is make money, and this is how you make money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's no like insidious next level where they're trying to push necessarily a particular political agenda. It just happens to like go the way it goes because of people are horrible and will just take advantage of whatever is given to us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's deregulation too. I mean, they point out that Saturday morning cartoons, there used to be regulations. The FCC would be like, you cannot advertise condoms on Saturday morning or something like that. Which is, makes sense, I guess, if like every parent has to decide when they're like, look, man, you got a loaded pistol now, be careful, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And certainly not to 8-year-olds who don't need to be crowded in necessarily. That's my choice, whatever. So
whatever. Yes. You picked a bad example and now you're having to defend your example.
I know exactly. But exactly. So the point being like, but YouTube for kids, which is a thing, I guess, now doesn't have that kind of regulation. So they can hook and addict children however they want, and they don't face the same regulations that broadcasters did on Saturday mornings. Like they can advertise. So Oscar really likes die-cast cars right now, and they know what he's going to like next. And they know we have a kid because we were buying Legos on Amazon, and now we're buying die-cast cars. And they know what's next, so they're going to start advertising to me, and I won't know it. And they'll even advertise to him on fucking Gigi Math, and he won't know it. And next he's going to be like, I'm really into mud wrestling or whatever.
Right.
It is,
Right. Hazel opened up YouTube on her computer like the first week of school, and the top banner ad was a pro-Trump ad, and it just had all these horrible images of like just like the world is falling apart, like all these like cobbled together like images of people like rioting from 1983, but they're like repurposed to make it feel as if it's happening right now in Portland or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, it was a very disturbing ad, and I'm like, I wonder if they know that this is a school laptop, and they're like trying to purposely like put this ad on they want my children to see this ad.
There's more of a chance.
It's not about me seeing the ad.
Yeah, there's more of a chance that is true than that is not true. Because of how much they know and how much data they have.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to, I mean, this is the world. It's like, what do you, like everyone, I've heard that reaction by people who have watched this documentary. People are like, then I immediately deleted social media. And I'm like, but is that the answer? Just like one person at a time?
Right.
Like,
it's so, yeah, you're right. Because that's the problem is no one is masterminding this. It's just the organism of capitalism. That is and money and exactly that and profit and everything. And so it would take a gigantic, you would have to either literally destroy those companies physically at like all at one time, or I don't know. I mean, the answer keeps being like Bernie Sanders saying, nothing short of political revolution, meaning like the politicians can't do anything unless we're like out in the streets fighting. But it's so goddamn exhausting because Republicans are so horrible that and there are so many issues and so many fronts on which they are horrible that we also need to have jobs because this is capitalism. So we can't be demonstrating every day, which we should be. And also demonstrations don't really work anymore, etc. But like they're also like, yeah, we need to be fighting. We should fight for blah, blah. Like, how much awareness can we raise on how many fronts? This is the frustrating thing where I land. And I'm like, fuck, what do we do now?
Yes. It all feels like it's gone pear-shaped.
It's all gone pear-shaped.
You can't really, yeah. I know what you mean, man. I'm on board with that. It's very crippling.
Crippling. Exactly.
Okay. My leisure class. My leisure class is again a night and day from yours. So
I think I'm in a mood this week.
That's okay. It's a mood. It's good. Eating ass and maybe that's your fear of the ass eating generation has propelled you to turn against social media in general.
Right. It's fear of an ass planet.
Yeah. See, if we didn't have social media, there, how would the kids be know to be putting their tongues in each other's butts?
They're getting their freak on, and good for them. I am not here to kink shame anyone. I salute it. I think it is amazing. Yeah. But do you remember that song "Planet of Ass" by Scissor Fight?
You played it in. We made a video where you use that as the background.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't say I know it, but
ass, planet of ass.
That's fine. A fine jam. I've been watching horror movies.
Awesome.
Because I don't know. I just I've turned away from horror for many years just because I'm like, everything is horrible. Like, why would you want to subject yourself to more horror? And then it's Halloween, and I was just like, maybe I'll watch a horror movie or two. And I have since watched 4 horror movies, which who has time to watch movies?
That's awesome.
Somehow I have watched 4 of them in the last couple of weeks.
Awesome.
I discovered this series, 2 movies called Creep 1 and Creep 2. And they are, these are horror movies by, Duplass, Mark Duplass.
Oh yeah.
Starring Mark Duplass, and he co-wrote the second one. I don't know if he co-wrote the first one, but they are so amazing, these 2 movies. And Creep 2 is like taking the ideas behind Creep to the next level. It's like, so this guy advertises, it's a found footage sort of movie where this guy Mark Duplass advertises on what's the old one? God, why am I blanking? Why do I not know anything anymore? The aggregate service where you advertise things. Craigslist.
God,
yes. Why am I so dumb? Yes, he advertises on Craigslist that he wants a videographer to come and watch him, follow him throughout the day. And then he gets these unwitting people and he just takes them on a crazy ride, and he turns out to be a serial killer. But they're so Creep 2 is so just funny and smart, and they're legitimately kind of scary too. So that's all I can say about them. I don't want to ruin anything, but watch Creep 1 and Creep 2. And they're only an hour and 20 minutes. That's how I've been able to watch both of these movies.
That's great. That's a lunch break.
Nice and short. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I knew nothing about them. I just stumbled on them on Netflix, and I'm a massive fan now. I'm all about the Creep all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Then I also... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say quickly that my life changed when I saw Evil Dead 2 in high school.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of what Creep 2 is kind of like. It's not gonzo like that, but it's that level of where Evil Dead, you're like, oh, this is a pretty cool movie. And then Evil Dead 2, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's the best.
I didn't know this was possible.
Yeah. I also watched Hereditary, which is the first film by the guy who did Midsommar.
Oh, wow.
Quite frightening.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of scary images happening in that movie. Similar, plays around with similar themes. I think Midsommar was a little bit more. I was more into the plot of that one than I was into Hereditary, but still, if you want to be spooked.
Does it have the same kind of art housey tone where you're like, where is this? What? Midsommar was one of the most surprising movies I've ever seen. Every turn it took, I was like, what in the fuck?
Yeah. It's similar. Yeah. I mean, it's art. It's it feels like a quality movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's got your Toni Collette, and your Gabriel Byrne.
One of my faves.
Yes. So there you go.
Did
Those are my two.
Did I ever tell you about when I
three scary movie recommendations? Yes.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I will check that. I'll check out Hereditary especially. Did I ever tell you about when I met Gabriel Byrne?
No.
I shook his hand. It was at an opening night party of a play in New York. I shook his hand and I said one sentence. I said, "Miller's Crossing is the best movie ever made."
Oh wow.
And he responded with 2 words. He said, "Is it?" And that was
it. He's like, "Get away from me."
Yeah,
you creep.
Like, "Is it?" And then and then it was done. And then I, of course, never saw him again. But I got that in.
I'm glad you didn't say like make some reference. You weren't like, I'm gonna give you the hi-hat tonight.
Right, exactly. And he'd be like, "What? I wasn't there that day."
Yeah, it would have been like, "Get the fuck away from me."
That was Albert Finney and John Polito. I wasn't there.
I don't know what you're fucking talking about. The fuck away from me. Oh, speaking of accents, real quick, Sarah listened to last week's episode, and she said she agreed with me that your accent has gotten more pronounced.
Oh, and it's funny you should say that because someone, speaking of the lecture that I posted on YouTube, another person, independent of that, another person also said that my Boston accent has returned.
That's so fascinating.
Very it's definitely quarantine because I'm not seeing enough people in I mean, I picked up people. I remember going to the airport when I was a freshman in college and picking up 2 friends that had spent the semester in England, and they had English accents when they got off the plane.
You're like, fuck you.
I mean, kind of. It was like they were like, "Where's the lorry?" And I was like, "Oh, shut up." You know?
Yeah, shut up, you fucking.
But they did have I mean, I think they were holding on to it as long as they could, but they were saying words different. And so being in Los Angeles, I'm sure I started talking like Bobby Brady with that wet D and T.
Oh no, I haven't noticed what's the LA accent.
There's when people say like in LA, they do this weird explosive thing with their tongue where it sounds like it's like that. It's like, why did Joe Theismann come to the set of Brady? I can't do it, but in any case, they do a thing with their tongue when they say the word like, and it makes me kind of lose my shit in a bad way. I'm like, ugh, I hate that. I don't know why.
I feel like I don't know anyone from Los Angeles.
Oh, that's also a good point. It's hard to find. Actually, now that I say that, I'm only basing that on Bobby Brady from the Brady Bunch. I've actually never heard it in the wild here.
That's all right. Whatever fuels your worldview.
But I feel like it's a non-accent here. And so I drifted into non-accent world, but being trapped in my house with Emily from Baltimore and Oscar, who's being terraformed as we speak.
Right.
I'm back to my old ecosystem.
Back to your roots.
Ruts.
I love it. Back to your ruts.
Apparently I say rum instead of room. Emily, everyone's been talking about this. Emily was like, rum? And I was like, yeah, rum. And she was like, R-U-M? And I was like, no, R-O-O-M, rum.
Rum. That's interesting. I've never noticed that. I guess we've never been in a room together.
But we've been in plenty of rums.
Yeah, that is so true. Too many rums. Shall we move on to Dadception?
Oh yes, Dadception.
Dadception. I'm going to drop mine this week, so the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, okay. This is one of our more daring segments, I realize, because it sort of it flies in the face of the way we were brought up, and risks.
It's getting real. It's getting real in a way that we don't often like to as men.
And God forbid our forebears were to listen to this, they'd be like, "What the hell? I thought I'd made some pretty good decisions."
Yeah, what you don't appreciate all I did for you, you little prick.
And with that, having said that, I have one this week, which is but this is sort of being Irish and like there's an Irish thing, so I don't lay this at the feet of my parents per se. There's an Irish thing of everything's fine. That I have also, and that all of my relatives have, and like, oh, it's fine, everything's great. But didn't your hand just get cut off by that thresher? Yeah, man, it'll grow back. Ha ha ha.
Right.
And I've always believed in, just like the outside informs the inside. And so the more everything's fine on the outside, the more the inside will be like, I guess everything is fine. But that actually doesn't work, it turns out.
Sure.
And like, you end up going down these angst holes for sometimes years at a time, which basically my early 40s was a giant pit of angst that I'm kind of crawling out of now. The entire time we've been on Dad Jeans, basically, I've been like suffering in a giant phantasm of angst.
Can I tell you something though, Brendan?
Yeah.
In 10 years, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be saying that about the last 10 years.
Yeah. You're right.
That's just your way.
And I'm not actually crawling out of it. You're saying like it's not coming to an end. It's just I'm right in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. I think every week you're like, well, I used to be an asshole, but now I've learned the error of my ways.
Right, exactly.
And next week you're going to say the same thing. Sorry, keep going.
Last week, what an asshole I was. I'm sorry I was such an asshole last week.
No longer. Now it's the new Brendan.
It's the new Brendan everywhere. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's because of this ethic of being like, oh, no, everything's fine. And so I watch my son. If I say his name out loud, he'll hear me and wonder what I'm talking about, so I won't. But I watch that guy have like full blown episodes about what something that really pisses him off, like and all the emotion comes all the way out, full throated. There is nothing clogging the pipes. Emotion, upsetness coming full throttle out of his face with zero regard for the appearance of whether he seems fine or not. There's no, oh, I'll be okay, don't worry about me, or anything like that. There's just like gigantic arias of rage and upsetness, etc. And then they go by, and then we're all laughing, and then we recover, and everything's fine. And I marvel at it, and we have really tried hard, and I really have to dig deep in those moments to not be like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And instead be like, well, tell me more. Like really elicit out all the emotion and just like clean it out.
To care.
Yeah. And
it's hard to care.
What's that?
It's hard to care when you see the same thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, exactly.
But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and
the extremity over things that you are able to contextualize as an adult and be like, yeah, come on, it's fine. We'll find the other what's the Lego piece or whatever.
Right, right, exactly. But nonetheless, I really try hard to make sure that I am being very validating, and in so doing, it seems like he's much more well adjusted as a human being, because he gets to have these huge, like emitting these giant things, these these soundings of his problems, which I don't allow myself. And now look at me. My 40s are a rugged affair. But is that, how much of that is maturity? How much of that is actual maturity, and how much of that is just learned sort of like tamping down, I guess, is the question. That is the $64,000 question.
Right? Because we couldn't all be children all the time. I mean, Trump is a child. Trump is behaving as if he has never learned any of those. He's never had any of that self-control. He's never had to develop it.
Right.
He's lived in a world removed from, and there is absolutely something good about that level of self-control, right?
That's a great point.
But is it the attitude that everything's fine? Like you want to be able to say, you want to be able to feel the feeling without pushing it away, but also you don't necessarily have to make it the focus of your life.
Yeah. And integrate it. Right. Allow yourself to be upset and like feel it, and then move on, or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because somewhere between now and him being an adult, something has to happen so that he isn't a Trump who's just a child.
Right.
And plenty of people are allowed to stay children their entire lives, like him and like basically every other executive. And so how we avoid that, where he's not just some and I know it will happen, but what combination of like shame or protocol or whatever it is, it's hard to dial in the exact right prescription for maturity.
Sure.
Without you know what I mean, and like keep him a whole person. And I don't
Yeah.
know how to do that.
I'm sure it just happens. Like that's what I'm hoping, because I'm not really trying very hard with my children in that respect. Like I let them kind of be the freaks they are, but then I also am like I also will be a very shitty parent sometime and be like, no one cares. You know, like I say like shitty stuff to my kids sometimes where they're upset about something. I'm like, get it together, dude.
Me too. Yeah. Well, me too.
You know,
right.
You know,
right. And
yeah.
and then how much of that is like, here's the thing about the ass eating generations. They are like, I did the math, and it's people born after 1985 that are doing freaky shit. And they're the ones, like, we were free range, and like our parents had no idea where we were. And around the mid to late 80s is when news broadcasts started to be like, everyone has been kidnapped, and everyone is, you know, everything is horrible. And true crime stuff started to make it feel like any second something's going to happen to your kid. So they'll suddenly, they were all shut-ins. And so because they were shut-ins, that's when they watched TV and just came up with kinky preferences. So, and it's like the overprotection thing, maybe is the thing on that. I can't remember how that connects here, but the point is, I remember. So you and I do the same thing. I like say things where I'm like, fuck, I totally blew that. And then I think, but he's got to also have grit, and like if a boss yells at him, it can't ruin it. If a boss yells at me, it ruins my day. If a boss but he's like, I don't give a shit, and I would rather him be like, okay, well, the context is work, that's not important. So boss yells at me, they're having a bad day. It's not going to make me have a bad day. I would rather him be that person.
Sure.
And so if we can raise them with a certain amount of grit with regard to upsetness coming at them, that's also a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's a better thing than like what you're describing, which is like just going full on into their emotion whenever. Then, you know, it's like like you got to get them, you got to divorce, you have to take them out of like the self-centered universe,
right?
Somehow,
right?
But but yeah, what was I gonna say? Lost it. I don't know what to do about this.
It's a conundrum.
Oh no, I'll tell you what I was going to say about it. Was that it's actually like that self-centeredness can actually be quite an advantage too. And that's the shitty thing, is that I think the things that we believe in, like the compassion and empathy and things like that, are not advantageous in our world.
Right.
Like we're raising kids for the world that we want to live in, but it's not the world that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And then perhaps they get that constant sense of disappointment, which leads to the Irish everything is fine reaction.
Right. Yeah, that gets further and further away from the actual feelings that once they come to the surface are very disturbing.
Yeah, well, you're just like, I mean, the Irish, I'm sure for many centuries, it was kind of like, well, you know, we can't do anything about this, so I guess everything's okay. Like,
right, exactly. Yeah,
that's where it stems from. It's not like no, I'm doing great. It's like, it's just like a resignation that everything is so shitty that like no one's going to be doing better than.
And it was an act of courage in the face of utter centuries of hopelessness and British oppression to be buoyant about it. Yeah, and it was sort of like a revolutionary act.
Sure.
Oh, fuck. What do we got? So we live in a country that is built for rugged, capitalistic, hate-filled, like people like prosperity gospel Christians, and so and we are doing our children a disservice not raising them in that kind of selfish, self-centered way where they'll just figure out how to get that money and you know what I mean, and thrive in this cesspool of an economy. So,
well, that's what social media will do that for them. It's okay. We don't need to teach them that.
Phew.
They're learning that from Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Minecraft. If you just spend a little bit more, you can get this extra cool shovel.
Right, exactly. Then they start spelling it MEIN, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's depressing. I don't know what to do with it. Shall we move on to our last segment?
I think let's.
Okay. What a depressing episode.
I know. It's my fault. I blame myself.
Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice. Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice.
So my fatherly advice for this week is it is time. COVID has brought us to this place, and I'm a little sad to say this, but my advice to all of our listeners is it's time for you to abandon your mid-tier friends.
Wow. Yeah.
If they're not like top of the line, or then put them to under the line, which is all of those people who you just aren't talking to right now.
Yeah.
Like there's no room for the mid tier. There's no room for the guy that you're like, hey, maybe we can have a drink like once every 6 months. Like that guy's gone. He's dead to you now.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
Yeah. That's the only way. There's going to be a great rejigger. There's really going to be a friend apocalypse when this all comes back, because everyone probably will naturally have really started to sort of pitch the cargo, and everyone is going to come out of this with their like one to three homies and significant other, and then they'll be like, wow, I can basically reinvent myself. I could have a nickname now. I can just start.
That's true.
Oh, everyone calls me Ace.
Yeah, maybe they're okay. Dig this. What if there are never mind. I don't know where I'm going with this. I was going to say social clubs, a resurgence of social clubs, except like it's just a club where you go to meet new friends.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Could we do something like that? And then that gets rid of the social media problem.
Yep.
We're just all back IRL all the time.
Yes.
After this.
And looking at your phone is the equivalent of smoking a cigarette.
That would be awesome. Wouldn't it be nice if Zoom just like cratered after this is all over? And they just lost all their money.
Right. And no one ever wants to connect like this ever again.
I would be so happy. It's
Yeah.
such a disaster.
Oh, Jesus H.
Who is your first mid-tier friend that you're going to get rid of?
Let's see. Let me name 3 people and we'll choose on the air.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Every week we could have like a friend lottery who gets dumped this week.
And maybe we could bring them on and be like, listen, we're never going to see each other again, and this is goodbye. Thanks for being on Dad Jeans. And they're like, what? Click.
Yeah. I have some New York friends who like I just was just a shitheel to. I just stopped responding to them kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like I don't know what to do about that. I feel a little guilt about it because like what do you do with the person who like is more interested in maintaining the friendship than you are?
Yeah, it's a skill. There are people who are better at being friends. Emily's incredible at it. I'm fucking horrible at it. I don't. But the thing is, here's what everyone has to understand.
Well, we're men. We're not supposed to be good at it.
Right, exactly. We're supposed to like get married, lose all our friends, and have to follow our wife around and just like kind of be friends with her friends.
Yes.
And then, die sad and alone.
Yes, exactly. That's how our life is supposed to go.
Right, exactly. So,
sitting on a park bench, feeding the pigeons.
Right, and then
that's where we're supposed to
end up. And then some young kid comes and says, "I've been to the zoo," and eventually stabs us.
Yeah. Sure. So I don't know where the beginning of that anecdote came from. The guy going to the zoo, but okay.
From the zoo story by Edward Albee.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, fucking.
Yes.
Then what happened? But thing is, like, someone texts you, we're allowed to put our goddamn motherfucking phones down, or someone emails you. Email is meant to be not promptly responded to. It's just a thing that sits there and it looks like a bunch of people are, I'll write them back, but this has to be out of time. Only the phone, and phones don't exist anymore, so everyone's fucked. If you want to reach someone, fuck you. Only the ringing phone, a ringing landline in a person's house is immediate. Everything else you get a pass from 5 minutes to 10 years is the range of appropriate time to respond to an email or a text. I allot myself either from 1 minute to 10 years to respond to everything. And everyone else should too, because
that's good.
Fuck everybody.
See, that's good. Or a Facebook message, for fuck's sake. Someone private messages you on Facebook.
No.
I'm like, I don't even know what to look at on this interface anymore.
No,
I'm like,
exactly.
How am I supposed to see your stupid message?
Right. And especially if it's someone just know you, or like someone way back from high school is like, hey, you want to do an MLM with me? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea.
Right.
I've never heard of such a bad idea.
No, I won't sell Herbalife.
Yeah, no, no, thank you. Wow, yeah, I think I agree with that logic. I wish I was better at not feeling any guilt about it. That's where I need to get to. Like, I still do that, but I just will always like open email and just cringe a little about that message that I haven't responded to yet.
Me too, because these big fucking Silicon Valley corporations want you to feel delinquent.
Right. Yes, that's right.
So no, I refuse to feel delinquent.
Okay, good. Thank you. It's not your friend that you're not responding to. It's the corporations.
Exactly.
Who are facilitating that interaction. And
Yep.
now that you say that, I wonder if that's a good excuse. If you're just like, to all of your mid-tier friends, if you're just like, hey, I'm not allowing corporations to facilitate my communications anymore. So
yeah. So call me on my landline. Oh,
right.
What's your number? Oh, I don't have a landline.
Oh, speaking of, I should say we have a new phone number.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you want to call us, it's somewhat memorable. I don't have a nice I don't have a what's the word called? An acronym? No. I don't have a mnemonic for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has ones and zeros, and ones and zeros do not translate to anything on your telephone keypad. But it's somewhat memorable. Our new number is 323-515-9290.
Oh, that's a good one. 323-515-9290. You just said it once and I memorized it immediately.
323-515-9290.
And may I, oh, that's great. I can already hear, Ari, what was that? Science Friday? Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. Ari Shapiro?
Yeah, Ari Shapiro. So, come on, Brennan.
Ari Fleischman?
Ari Fleischer. Oh, here's the thing, everybody, listeners.
Yeah.
Call that number and
Aristotle Onassis?
Aristotle Onassis, whose bar stools on his yacht were upholstered with the scrotums of whales.
Oh, sure. Why not?
Isn't that amazing? Anyway, imagine how veiny. Anyway, so here's the thing, listeners. Here's my vision. And Jeff, I wonder if you'd sign on with this for our phone number.
Yeah.
We have all these segments, all the different ones. You've heard them over the years. If something occurs to you, call that number and just sound off about your get off my lawn, your fatherly advice, your spite club.
Yes.
No
one will
I
answer
just don't
it.
understand.
No one will answer it. We won't answer our phone. Forget that.
Right. We will not answer, so you can leave a long message rant. And then that can help determine what segment we do the next week, because then we will play yours, respond to it, have the segment for ourselves, and then all of our listeners are part of the show and are so call us with your segment entries anytime you want.
Yes, if you want to be famous, this is the fastest route.
Yep, that's definitely true. Podcast.
We will make you famous. If you call us in, you will be featured, no matter how shitty and stupid your message is.
Yep, that's definitely true. And I want to say this is especially for our 14 listeners in Russia.
Yes, please. R.U. Please join us.
I don't know why you guys are listening, but I love you. I love the theater in your country. Your country is full of geniuses, and I hope everything's okay over there.
I don't know if we still have them. We had some friends in Russia who would download the podcast, and that's who it was. I don't know if we maintained Russian listeners.
Maybe it was 14 downloads and not 14 separate people.
Yeah, I think that's probably more accurate.
Oh, it was one person in Russia who has since come home.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, who has since come home. But they may have maybe the people who were like monitoring their conversations became Big Dad Jeans fans.
Maybe, and why not? Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that German movie where the guy's in the attic listening to the couple, the playwright. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. The Lives of Others.
The Lives of Others. Very reminiscent of The Conversation.
Yes, indeed.
Which, with was
Jean
quite a
Hackman.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
With who?
Jean Hackman.
Yeah, exactly. What is your fatherly advice for this week, my friend?
Jeffrey, like to gather information, useful tidbits, facts, factoids, things like that. And I have struggled for years to come up with a way to aggregate it all in one place on my computer, especially if I'm trying to learn a particular thing. Like I like watching tutorials about writing, like on Masterclass. What's his name? Malcolm Gladwell will be like, "Here's how you write like me," or whatever, And or what's her name? Who wrote what's it called? Handmaid's Tale.
Okay. Margaret Atwood.
Margaret Atwood has a terrific masterclass. So finally I realized, I should use the software Scrivener and create a writing education Scrivener, because the way Scrivener organizes itself is got folders and little doohickeys and things like that. There's a left-hand column with like folders and entries, etc., and you can recombine it and do things in different ways. And then the meat of the thing appears in the window on the right. I tried Evernote, but it had so much feature bloat. It was a disaster. I tried but I need this for different things. I tried Pear, but the problem is all these platforms want you to just come to Evernote and put everything in Evernote. That doesn't work. So, but what Scrivener allows you to do is start a new giant project file. So if I am watching music tutorials, I launch the music education Scrivener and take little notes. Or if I'm like working on learning how to do Cinema 4D 3D animation, then I launched the imagery education one, or that's where like Photoshop tutorials and shit like that. So Scrivener, you guys, the software, is the best way to organize giant umbrellas of tiny segmented factoids, thoughts. I know what factoid actually means. I'm using it wrong. Facts, thoughts, impulses, and links and everything like that. It's much better than Evernote, and you can have a bunch of different ones, so they're siloed as necessary, unlike Evernote, which is a giant ocean of nonsense.
None of us have any idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Damn it.
No, I know about Evernote, which I never could quite get into either, but
so many features.
I don't know what all the I don't know what I'm looking at Scrivener right now. I'm on the homepage, and it seems like a lot of words.
It's for writers. It's for writing.
And it's just for taking notes.
No, people write novels in Scrivener. It's actually for writing novels mostly, or writing long writing projects. But I use it to aggregate a bunch of different facts from the internet that I want to put in one place. Like, because I do my project about if I'm going to do a lecture on contemporaneity, that involves links and involves me coming up with funny ideas, and it involves images, and I can just put them all in Scrivener, and everyone's happy.
I see. Now you need to have a class for your writing method as well.
Oh, yeah. I have a little format to lot.
I don't do any of this shit. Like when I write something, and I'm writing something constantly, all day, every day I'm writing something, I just start writing it. That's like I've never understood methodology. I don't have a methodology. I just write a thing. But
see, you're way ahead of me. I never get to the writing part. I am all methodology and zero perspiration.
Right. Okay. I wish I could write more things that I enjoyed writing, though. It's my problem.
I feel you, dog.
There is definitely a segment of the world that is really good at method, and I've never been able to tap into that. I've never found a method that works.
Yeah. And all I ever do is look for a method that works, but I never get to the part where I'm doing the writing. So you're way ahead of the game on this. Don't worry.
But could you potentially be, once you do start the writing, could you potentially be so chock full of things that you're not even writing, all you're doing is just organizing?
That is actually what happens. That's precisely what happens. Yeah. So the actual writing is very quick because I've spent so much time getting ready. It's just hard to get to that place where I never feel quite done organizing. So but I'm always making it so that when I'm actually but the problem is I'm making the fun part the shortest part. And I'm making the tedious part the longest part, so that the fun part can be the shortest part. But I'm also a Virgo, so I don't mind the tedious part, and maybe I like it more than the fun part. I don't know. I don't know. Well, maybe we could fuse our brains, and I could actually get something accomplished.
Yeah, potentially. I have a book that I really want to write that I'm like just not even touching right now. What should we challenge thee?
Ooh, interesting.
Maybe we could do an actual productive I challenge thee.
That is a fantastic idea.
Okay.
Jeffrey, I challenge thee to write 500 words of that book.
By next week?
Sure.
Oh, easy. Make it 1,000.
1,000.
Okay. Done. Thank you. And I challenge thee to organize your fucking notes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. With that, I think we should go. I'm going to get my day started.
Oh, let's do that. Let's get our day started. Good.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thank
for
you, Jeff.
another lovely chat.
Indeed, this has been lovely.
Yes, a hot steaming cup of chat.
Clam chatter.
Clam chatter.
Good night, Jeff.
Good night, Brendan, and everyone, everywhere.
Good night.
Hey!